Welcome to Toffee TV. It is my three things. Everton 1, Southampton 2. Everton have done it again. They faced the team in the bottom three and managed to lose at home. And this is Everton's easy run. This set of games was Everton's easier run of fixtures, and we haven't won a single one of them. And it's you have to go back to the middle of October when we played Crystal Palace to find the last time Everton won a game. So 82 days ago. And that is, it's absolutely incredible. Within that time, we've gone out of both cup competitions. We are now joint bottom of the league with Southampton and with West Ham. Fifth home defeat in 6 games. And it's absolutely diabolical. The first thing I'll talk about is the support, which was the fans again showed today that they are the football club. We've had a absent owner for 16 months now, I think it is, since Farhad Moshiri bothered to go to a game at Goodison. I don't think he'll be turning up anytime soon, by the way. Secondly, we had an absent board there today, and I'm sure we'll see a statement from Merseyside Police explaining the why they went there, because obviously there was reports of threats. I'm sure that's all been recorded, and there'll be crime numbers for all of those incidents, and the police will do a full statement with accurate details, and then we'll know. And then if, once that's the case, then that can be condemned, because that is not what anything's about. But they've not been there today, and the club is in a mess at the moment. But once again, the crowd will be asked to pull them through. They were asked today. The crowd have turned up hours before to welcome a team that, like I've just said, hasn't won since October. Was in a relegation battle last season. And listen, I've supported Frank Lampard long enough, said it many times. I like him as a fella. I think he's really tried to give everything to Everton. But I'm at odds with what he says when he turns around and says, well, we were in a relegation battle last season, so that we knew we'd be in on this. And that's what a load of nonsense that is. It should never, ever, ever be your outlook on a football club. You're there to change that football club, and if you bring 8 signings in the summer, that should be how you change that club. More on that in a minute. But for the crowd, like I said, to turn up to welcome the bus, incredible scenes again. I've seen a lot of other people saying, why are you doing this for this team? It doesn't deserve it. This team does not deserve that kind of support. But the crowd did it. And it should have been enough for the team to go out and put a poor Southampton side to bed. And for whatever reason, once the half-time whistle went, the players didn't have it in them. So I don't know what happens there, but the crowd were brilliant. Tried to keep them going. Even when it went 1-1, tried to back them, tried to get beyond them. Even when it went 2-1, tried to sing them back into the game. But the players, it looked like from the stands, the players didn't put the same kind of effort in what the crowd have done, and we've ended up losing another game. And the crowd let the players know, and rightfully so at the end. I think you've got to be told when something isn't good enough. You can't just go, oh, we're going to support you no matter what. The fans have got to have an opinion, and they had an opinion at the end. And then obviously they stayed. We stayed. There was a protest. It was well attended. Obviously lots of chance of sack the board were there. But it was well attended, lots of flags, and that's all the crowd can do. Be respectful, protest, because why not? Why should we just sit back and watch our club continue to spiral into the mess that is in front of our eyes today? No money to buy anyone, otherwise we'd have had players in, bottom of the league, losing games hand over fist, drifting. When we've had influx of money, and we're seeing other clubs, Brighton again to mention, and they just battered Liverpool 3-0 on a tremendous run. And we're seeing nothing from our football club. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. Second thing to talk about is the challenge that is left for half a season. Everton have won 3 games of football in the Premier League so far this season, which is the lowest amount in the league. They are joint bottom, like I've just said. 5 home defeats in 6 games, and all of that. but there is half a season to go, and I know a lot of Evertonians have thrown the towel in and have said it's done, it's over, we're relegated. I get that sentiment. If Everton would have won today, they'd have been 14th, incidentally. I think a win off the top half, or or close to the top half, but we haven't, and we've lost against teams who, for me, we should have been capable of beating, and we haven't. And I'm not sure how this has turned around. I'm not sure whether Frank Lampard can turn it around and his staff, because how does this run? How did we win one game in 13? How? It to me is berserk. 13 times Everton have taken the piss and they've only won once. That's awful. Poor management and poor footballers. And that to me is just accepting defeat far too easily. Far too easily. And I don't know how you turn it round. Can Everton go and bring a couple of exciting attacking players in who are creative and might open teams up? Don't know. They obviously liked Uatara. We still haven't gone and bought him. Go and find out what they want. Find the money, pay the money and get him in. Obviously, Anthony Elanga will come in at some stage from United on loan. Is he really going to keep Everton Football Club up? There needs to be more. Quite clearly today, we've seen a situation where Southampton brought 5 subs on. And one of the biggest things, and I think this will be... no, we'll go on to that. Do that for my third point with bringing people in. But yeah, I'm not sure how we turn it around, but we've got to somehow start getting results. I don't know how, because the resilience of this team, in fact, there isn't any resilience in this team. It goes to West Ham next week before there's a break. We've got West Ham away, who have lost again today. David Moyes hanging by a thread at West Ham. Are we going to go there in front of 60,000 and be able to get a result the way with no resilience? We've then got a break, and then we've got Arsenal at home and Liverpool away. And unless they pull a result out the fire, and I don't know how or where, in a few weeks they're going to be adrift at the bottom of the table. And they could have been so different. We had Wolves at home, Brighton at home and Southampton at home. Forget City away for now, but we had those 3 home games after the break. We played Bournemouth away, and Bournemouth have won 2 games in about 15, and they were both against us. They lost all the others. But we lost twice to Bournemouth, which is embarrassing. And Everton had these 3 home games, and you're looking at it going, 7 points would really put us in a decent position. And we've took none from them. The only point we've got was a point at Manchester City, which is they're not exactly playing tremendously well at the moment. And that's where we are. And so I don't know how we're going to get to a situation where we're going to win 7 football matches, which is what Everton will need. Everton will need 7 wins out the second half of the season. We've got 3 so far to stay up, and probably 3 draws, and then I imagine we will lose at least 9 more games till the end of the season. And that'll, we're on 15 points. We probably need 22 points to stay up. 37 points, I think, will keep you up this season. I don't know where Everton are getting 22 points from, if I'm perfectly honest. And that's where we are. So, finally, and very quickly, obviously, the transfer market. We're still here. It's the 15th of Jan. I said I was going to do it every week until we strengthen. So I'm going to do it. We're on the 15th of January. Or the 14th of January, whenever it is. The 14th of January it is, isn't it? And we still haven't brought anyone in. And that's negligent. I understand there's restrictions, but I've said it before, we should have had this all sorted before the window opened, the market's opened. Other teams are after players. But our needs are huge, our needs are must. Others are trying to tinker, we're staring the abyss in the face. And yet, we've not done anything. We've played today, and we are 2-1 down at home against a team who are bottom of the league. A team who are bottom of the league who bring 5 substitutes on. And I think the biggest thing for our recruitment team, which is they should absolutely be questioned. And I said this on another show, there shouldn't be any internal appointments for a head of recruitment at Everton. None whatsoever, given how poor our recruitments have been over the years. So anyone who's there and who's been there shouldn't be considered for the top job anywhere at Everton. So I hope that isn't the case. But it was a big indicator today of how poor Everton's business is. We're 2-1 down at home to a team who's bottom of the league. And the two attacking players we spent money on, and we haven't got a lot of money, that we chose to spend money on, didn't even get on the pitch today. And that to me is, if there hasn't been a bigger red flag for recruitment, there it was today. Haven't got a lot of money, and you panic by two players who are attacking players, and they can't even come on the pitch when you are 2-1 down to a team bottom of the league who's just made 5 subs themselves. And that is how poor Everton's recruitment has been, particularly in the final third. And that's why, and people have said this to me this week, and I battered it off and tried to give people a benefit of the doubt. But they're like, did you see what they bought in the summer when they knew they had to buy goals and fast players? Why have you got any faith they'll be able to do it in this window? And I guess you've always got to try to have faith, haven't you? Because otherwise, what else have you got? But I understand where they're coming from. I understand the point. We've just got to hope this time they either have took different advice from someone who knows about football, or they stumble upon the answer, the correct and the right player, because otherwise Everton will go down with a whimper this season. It won't even be a fight. If it carries on the way it is, they'll be down in March. So things have got to change, and they have to go and splash the cash. They have to find it and splash it and see what happens, because at the moment this is heading one way, and it's sad. Right, that's me done. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. Give the video a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. See you later.